Hi, welcome back to my channel, Heather Abroad. I know I've been away for a little while, but I'm back, hopefully to stay, but just been keeping busy, and so here I am. This summer we had a little bit more rain than our first summer in Norway, but we managed to get out, find some good weather, and go on quite the adventure. So come along and let me show you what we did in Voss Flåm so you can plan your next Norwegian summer vacation. We decided to drive on our adventure up to Voss. So we started in Stavanger and stopped partway in Sauna, and there we spent some time adventuring. So we first started with Svindelsfossen, which is a waterfall, super easy to walk up along the side of if you are agile with stairs, and it was just a nice little stop. And then we found Trollsplassen, which is the troll place, and this was a neat little park to just kind of hang out at and have lunch. And then we also found the Soldahallen, which is the swim hall, and that just made for a fun stopover. And then off to Voss. So we left the next day, and pretty shortly we arrived in one of my favorite tunnels with the roundabout and exited there across the Hardanger Bridge. And this is just a neat drive, definitely worth the views if you have the time to drive up. Then we arrived in Voss and settled in, but only for a little bit because then we were off to Flåm. We stopped by Tvindefossen, which is one of our favorite waterfalls to check out year round. It's just beautiful no matter what time you stop. And then off to Flåm. Upon arriving in Flåm, we hopped aboard a rib boat tour. So all this we booked ahead, which I would recommend you doing as well because it does book up pretty quickly. But this is a fun adventure for sightseeing in the fjord, and they keep you bundled up in these nice warm outfits from the cool fjord breeze. And if your driver is really fun like our guy, you'll do some wave jumping. The kids absolutely loved that part. Well, that was beautiful and fun, but time for our next adventure, which turned out to be quite impromptu. So the guy on the rib boat recommended his friend's Fjord sauna, and so we decided that we should see if it was open, and sure enough it was. But I do recommend booking this ahead of time because they can be booked up, as this is a quite popular activity to do in Norway. But it was fun for all. The kids absolutely loved it, which I recommend booking a private large sauna if you have kids, so that way you do not disturb others who might want a more relaxing experience. And if you follow my shorts, you probably remember this one. Oh my, that was so cold. And the iPhone took one for the team.
Go! Tell her, go, dude, you left your friends. Dude.
Of course, I knew this was going to happen, but you gotta let the kids have a little fun, right? It was a great experience for all. I would do it again for sure. So this was a jam-packed 2 days in Flåm. So the next morning, we booked an early train up to Myrdal. This is an iconic railway with scenic views that are probably next to none, maybe some in Alaska, but it was gorgeous. And once you arrive in Myrdal, there's not a lot of options for what to do. You can have a coffee or a pastry, and then you can either start hiking back to Flåm, or you can rent a bike, which I recommend booking ahead. We opted for maybe the more adventurous one, which was ziplining, because we didn't know if the kids could handle holding the brakes all the way back down the mountain to Flåm. But the zip line proved to be quite the fun adventure. So glad the kids are adventurous because this is nerve-wracking. You don't get to choose when you start heading down. They set you up and then they press the button and you go, which does help take some of the nervousness out, right? Dad and the oldest go first, and Mom and the youngest get to wait and watch and see how it goes. All right, now the youngest has worked up the courage, so we're going to be set up to go. Now, they put in some extra things, as you can see in the back. I'm not sure what they're called, but you hang them onto the actual zip line. Well, they put extra ones in kids to help them go down faster if they do not weigh a certain amount. But the kids, as you can see, still go pretty slow. So I left him behind and met him at the bottom. And here comes Keller, rolling in slowly. So at this time, he's 7, and if you have an adventurous family, I think you can enjoy this too. So we walked from the zip line down to the closest station, which you still have to book tickets to get on for, but that's where we would take the train back up to Flåm and head back down to Voss. Oh, but wait, let's keep busy. We found Stegastein, which is an iconic overlook of the fjord. And this is definitely worth the narrow road drive up the hill to take a look out onto the fjord, especially if you don't do the rib boat tour. At least this will get you a nice view. Okay, now we can head back to the hytte in Voss, which is our cabin. We had booked early the gondola to have dinner reservations at the top of the mountain. However, the wind shut down the gondola and we missed our dinner reservations. So be aware that that can happen if you are planning ahead. So we grabbed dinner at a different spot and then went to the gondola the next day when the winds were calmer. And so we just did some sightseeing, had a coffee and ice cream, and played at the top of the mountain.
Whacked in the face. Watch where you're going, honey.
Audrey got a head start. 2-1. Me. I'm second. Olivia's third. That's because.
And to finish this amazing adventurous trip, we went whitewater rafting. Now this was class 2 and only in some areas, but it was perfect for the kids and we had a great time. They were able to jump in and out of the water and enjoy the basics of whitewater rafting. Definitely a trip for the bucket list. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you get to make it to Norway for a summer bucket list kind of trip. The adventures just keep coming. Until next time, see you later.